So if you're a business owner in Dubai, you know that getting a credit card for your business kind of sucks. While the UAE has an amazing range of great credit cards for your personal use with amazing cashback or points benefit and all kinds of free lounge access and airport transfers and everything like that, getting one for your business has so far been very difficult, or in most cases downright impossible. And this can be very frustrating for business owners in Dubai, because you might have a lot of expenses like ad spend, supplies, software, everything like that you have to spend from your debit card, which means that you're not getting any cash back for all these expenses. So while that's of course not the biggest deal in the world, it is free money that you're essentially having to leave on the table because you're not able to get a credit card for your business. That is until right now, because I have just found out that there is a bank that is offering a credit card for any business in the UAE with 100% approval rate. And in this video, I'm going to show you the benefits that you can get with this credit card, how you can get it, which bank it is from, as well as exactly step by step how to apply for it and qualify for it instantly. So by the end of watching this video, if you have a business in Dubai, you can most likely already have this credit card approved. But before we cover this specific credit card and before I show you exactly how to get it, there is one big problem that you first need to avoid that is relevant for you if you haven't yet formed your business in Dubai. And this is a problem that unfortunately a lot of people who set up a business here still face. And that is not being able to get banking at all for your business. Luckily, however, there is a very easy way to avoid this problem. And that is why using a proper free zone and a proper service provider to set up your business. There are many different free zones where you can set up your business in the UAE, but all of them are absolutely not created equal. There are certain free zones that are, let's just say, not in the favor of the government because they have a bad record of following all the compliance and all the regulations, which means that from a bank's perspective, banks do not trust these free zones because they see as a risk of potential money laundering or something like that, and the banks simply don't want to get involved with this. Now, there's many different service providers out there. A lot of them are going to offer a cheap service, but what comes with the cheap service is often one of these cheap free zones, which means that your company might not even be able to get banking at all, which is why on this channel I recommend that you only work with trusted people who will give you good service. And obviously you can do your own research, but if you want to work with the same people who I work with, you can book a free consultation down below with my team at GenZone, who are the people that I personally work with whenever I have any issues with my company. And with them, we have helped more than 800 people set up companies and relocate to the UAE. And if you look at their reviews, you will see that there is absolutely no one that has had a bad experience. So if you haven't yet set up your business in Dubai, and you can speak to them for free from the first link down below in the description or by scanning this QR code right here before you move forward with them. Now, how do you get this credit card and which bank is it from? Well, this might not come as a surprise for many people, but this credit card is from the bank WIO. Now, WIO has been offering a personal credit card for a while, which I've been using, which is really great with 2% cashback. And now they offer the same for businesses. Now, you might be aware that this credit card has actually technically existed for a while already, for like a year or something. But the difference here is that previously it was actually very difficult to qualify for it. And most businesses actually, from my experience, could not even qualify for it. And what made it even more difficult is that they didn't even release the criteria to qualify for it, which means that you could just apply every couple of months and they would just reject you and they wouldn't really tell you why. However, now they have a new method of applying for this credit card, which doesn't rely on your revenue or like whatever metrics they were using before. Instead, you can simply put up a small deposit, and against that deposit, you get a credit limit for your credit card. And they're advertising this as 100% approval rate. And I can confirm that when I went through this flow, it was approved instantly. So what are the benefits of this credit card? Well, simply on every transaction, you will get 2% cashback. And what's really great about this, and what I really like about the WIO cashback as opposed to other credit cards, is that this is actual 2% cashback that is paid in cash directly to your bank account at the end of the month. And what's even better is that it is 2% cashback on pretty much every transaction. With a lot of credit cards, there's going to be a lot of categories that don't qualify for the cashback, or they're like, oh, if you spend on this, you get it. If you spend on this, you get a bit less. And then you really need like an advanced math degree to even be able to calculate how much cashback you're actually getting. And you don't really have the time to do that as a business owner. So that's how these banks like kind of trick you into thinking that you're getting cashback, but then actually you don't, when you consider that most of your spending is on these categories. That is assuming that this works the same as the We Are Personal credit card, which I assume that it does. So it's pretty much a no-brainer to have this for your business if you've been just spending from your debit card so far. So how do you get this? Well, what you need to do is go to your WeO business banking app, and what you need to do is click here on credit. You should be able to see this credit tab here on the page. And then over here, you're gonna see a screen that says create credit application or something like that. And then it's gonna ask you for a couple of things. It's gonna ask you how much of a deposit do you want to put against which you're gonna get the credit limit, and you're gonna get 80% of the deposit as your credit limit. The minimum is 10,000. So I'm just gonna put 10,000 dirhams over here, and then you need to simply pick the date in which you want to pay off your credit card. I'm just gonna pick the 28th, and then you're just gonna review and confirm this. So if you want to close this credit card and you want to get this deposit back, all you have to do is release the deposit for yourself from the banking app, and of course at the same time you're then gonna lose this credit limit. So you don't need to like call the bank and wait 45 days and like all this stuff that like it usually works with most banks. So this is also pretty great. And then you're just gonna have to wait a couple of minutes. For me, it took like a minute or something like that. And you're gonna see a message like this, that your credit card application has been approved and your credit limit of 8,000 or whatever you chose has been approved. And then when you go to credit, you're gonna be able to see your credit limit right here, and you can view it and everything like that. And then if you want to see the deposit that you placed on this, you can simply go here on savings, and you will be able to see the money that you put up as deposit, which is still your money and everything like that over here. And at any time, if you want to close it, you're just going to click on here to withdraw the money, which will give you back the money and also close your credit card if you don't want it anymore. And one more thing to note here is that a lot of people might now say, okay, great, I have the credit card, and assume that they're now going to send you the credit card, like the physical card. That's not actually how it works. You're not actually going to get any card posted to you. You're simply gonna keep using the same card that you've been using so far. So this is my WeO debit card. And what you're gonna do is go to your cards, and from here, it should currently say own money. So you're gonna simply click here on credit, and just by clicking that button, this debit card has now turned into a credit card. So you can switch between this card being a debit card or a credit card simply from the app. You don't need to have two separate cards. And if you do want to have two separate cards where one of them is spending your credit money and one of them is spending your debit money, you can create a new virtual card from here on the app. You can give it a name and then set this card to spend from your own money and your other card to spend from your credit money if you want to have two separate cards. So that is how you get this credit card. So I hope that this helps. So this credit card is for your business. Now, if you want to see what are the best personal credit cards and the best bank accounts for yourself personally, I recommend you watch this video right here for all the credit cards and banks that I use in the UAE. So watch that video next, and I will see you in the next video.